It's time for the Jesse T Show as we're getting hooked up here. I got hacked into my Instagram and Facebook over the Memorial weekend. They were hacking me, baby. The Russians were hacking me. The Russians were hacking me. That's right. And I was rushing the Russians. So they hacked into me, and I've had to change all my passwords around. And it really, really sucks the big time because now I forgot to tell Lee Michaels that I had to change all my passwords around. So we're figuring out how to change all my passwords around now that I'm on the air already. I should have did that actually before, but then, I forget things because, that's just me. I forget stuff. I'm so busy. I am. Good to have you along with me. Hey, you got to turn our light on there to show these beautiful, beautiful bumps and skin and these pretty brown eyes that I have. What's wrong with you? You got to turn that light on there. Otherwise, I look like I'm in a cave where Neanderthals live, and I swear to... Yes. I don't know what I said, but I said something that sounded pretty interesting. Probably just got every Native American so pissed off at me in the world here. Hey, we're in. It worked. No?
You're on your Facebook. Voices.
You got me somewhere else?
Yeah, you got you on your YouTube.
Oh yeah, I got that going on. So we'll just deal with that today. And we'll figure out the password situation.
Share it over from the Power Voices yours.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah. Thanks for helping me out there. Like I really.
See if I can help you with that.
Yeah, sure. Like I really know how to do that. Yeah, sure. Share it over. Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah. I'll share it over. It's not. Yeah, yes, right. It's like the cops trying to get someone's driver's license after an accident. Yeah, something they're supposed to know, right? And they don't know anything. Well, it's good to have you along. Hey, Brian Roberts has us on. Yes, our alumnus. Our alumnuts. I should call him alumnuts, right? Yeah, he's alumnuts. Mr. Lumnuts has us on. That's right. Brian Roberts is checking in with us. Hey, Brian, what's happening? Tracy Ellman has us on. Joe Nicastro has us on already. Mark David James. Cats that have like 3 names when you name them, like Mark David James, and they go by that. Hi, what's your name? I'm Mark David James. Or it could be, I'm Mark David James. Or it could be, I'm Mark David James. Or it could be Mark D. James. Or it could be Mark David James, or it could be Mark David James.
It could be.
Yeah.
But probably not.
I love cats that have 3 names. And he could be Mark, or he could be David, or he could be James. What's that? You could be this, you could be that, but don't be that, right? That's an old joke, right? Anyway, he has us on. Mark David James. What's happening, buddy? Good to have you checking in with us. Brian Roberts says, "Hey, bro, what's up?" I said, "For sure, dude. For sure. That's right, dude. Yeah. How come you never invited me to drive in your Corvette?" Michael Linelli has us on, and Bobby Bowden have us on as we start hooking up here at Facebook.com/Jesse Torero, and also on Instagram Live right over here at Jesse Torero. And we're going to eventually get this hooked up here and maybe get that going here. You might want to try this code here. Got a piece of paper? I'll write these codes down because I was hacked by Russians. I was hacked by Russian Chinese people that had Iranian blood and Venezuelan food in them when they did it. Did I just name all the people in the world that were after? The Chinese? Oh, no, wait. I was hacked by Russians and Chinese while they were visiting North Korea, enjoying the massive parades and watching the nukes go off, and in Venezuela, where everybody's really hungry and they don't have any milk, and then Iran, where the mullahs got big beards and they sit around all day going, with the big beard, right? Have you noticed that in the new Starbucks, all these millennials have got beards? They all got beards now. They all want to look like Paul Bunyan, right? They want to look like, the guy from Mountain Man, Jeremiah Johnson, right? Or they want like a lumberjack. And the guys that are sitting around Starbucks like in the middle of the day. Have you ever gone into a Starbucks? I'm not a big Starbucks fan because I sued them like 35 years ago. But oh yeah, I sued those guys, those rats. Anyway, so now there people sitting around Starbucks in the middle of the day that seem to go there like every day. That means they really are just unemployed and they got nowhere else to go, right? And they got just enough money to hang out at Starbucks. They're not homeless, okay? And of course, they let like 8,000 people out of work today. Starbucks closed down 8,000, all 8,000 of their stores for special race training. Yes, they were all out there in spandex and Speedos racing around the track like Seabiscuit, right? Yeah, they were race training. Yeah, race training, right? Yeah, I got you on that one. Yes. Craig Powers has us on. Hey, Craig, what's happening, buddy? Happy birthday to you, Craig. It is your birthday, right? Or it's something. Anyhow, so no, they had that special training, discrimination training at all the Starbucks today. So they gave everybody like the afternoon off. I wonder if they gave them paid vacation off. But now if you see something going on in Starbucks, they're going to post 800 numbers and you can call this 800 number, and if you see somebody in the bathroom, like has destroyed the bathroom or something going wrong, they have a special Starbucks hazmat team that will hurry up out to the Starbucks and clean it. Now, is that set for like a comedy script, right? Call the Starbucks hazmat team, right? They come running out to clean up the bathrooms, right? Well, nobody wants the homeless pooping and peeing in their bathroom and taking a bath and a shower. I mean, that's got that, how many times do you want that to happen? I mean, Starbucks is supposed to be like a clean environment where you need moms and dads and kids and people hanging out that don't have jobs. They're probably actors and they'll be real estate agents after they figure out they didn't make it in acting. So here, especially in Los Angeles. So, but it's a place to hang out, right? That's kind of cool and whatever. And, you don't want some hairy beast dropping a load in the bathroom and taking a shower and cleaning his gonads. Do you? No. So what the heck's going on here? Wait a minute. But we got special discrimination training today at all the Starbucks. So tomorrow, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be like total dude in your face. And I'm going to see how good your discrimination training was. I'm going to say all kinds of goofy, stupid things to see how good you are. How you've handled it in just one session of special Starbucks discrimination training. Yes. Anyway, just thought you'd want to know about that. But, Tammy Trujillo has us on. The traffic lady here in Los Angeles. Tammy was sort of like the number one traffic lady. You heard her on everywhere. She was when they were doing traffic and they used to call in radio stations and there was these companies that's all they did with traffic when they didn't have all this stuff on the internet. Tammy Trujillo was one of the traffic people. And I believe she's also on the air at a radio station in Arizona now. Lee Michaels is watching too. Wait a minute. Lee Michaels is watching. Wait a minute. You're Lee, so you're watching.
I'm got my eye on you.
You got my eye on you, right? And Alexis Heath. I like that name. Alexis Heath, right? Give me some Alexis Heath. I like that. Yes, I hope it's a girl, not a guy. Maxell Keith has us on too as well. All right, great. That reminds me of Maxine Waters. Did you hear about what happened to Maxine Waters and her daughter lately? Maxine Waters directed campaign funds, like $80,000 into her daughter's personal account. And now she's getting investigated by Congress about, the election rules and how to handle those funds in your political accounts, right? She's in a whole heap of hot water. And since that has happened, she's kind of gone undercover, right? So you don't hear too much about her right now because that's what happens to politicians. Have you noticed when they get in trouble, all of a sudden they get really quiet and it's like they can't be seen. They're like a guy who goes out in the freezing cold temperature like a turtle, right? Right? And in the hot sun, he's like, winga, winga, winga. But in the freezing cold temperature, it's like a turtle, right? It goes right back into protection mode. Right. So that's what sort of happens to these like politicians. They're like that. So Maxine Waters is in a whole heap of a lot of trouble with directing funds to her daughter, and an investigation is taking place there. So that'll be interesting. So as I was driving in today to work, I noticed a couple of things. And one, traffic actually moved pretty good today. I think it was, hangover day, the day after Memorial Day, even though Memorial Day is not supposed to be a day that you get hung over. It's supposed to be a day of remembrance of the fallen heroes, men and women who have died for us. And almost 2 million men and women have died since the creation of the United States of America. In all our wars and all our battles and all our fighting around the world, almost 2 million Americans have died in all those battles. So there's a lot of people that we had to have a somber reflection and remembrance, and that's what Memorial Day was all about. I hope you had a nice Memorial Day and you didn't get yourself in too much trouble, because that's certainly what it's not about. And Veterans Day is about veterans who are still living. Memorial Day is about our heroes who gave the ultimate choice, the ultimate gift, their lives for you and me, irrespective of what you may believe or may not believe about this country. There are people that have laid it on the line for you. And that's what Memorial Day is all about. We, the Jesse T Show, we were out at the USS Iowa, the Big I in Port Sacal, and the Battleship Iowa. Now, folks, if you ever have the opportunity, you've got to go out there to the Battleship Iowa in Port Sacal. That's San Pedro, right there in Los Angeles. Go check it out. You think you know what a battleship is all about? I mean, you see him on Google, the videos and YouTube videos, and you see him in movies, and you see him in these historical programs that talk about the Navy and all that stuff. But let me tell you something. You have no idea what it feels like to walk on a battleship, the USS Iowa. It is the last battleship that was built by the United States of America. It was being built in Pearl Harbor at the time that Pearl Harbor was bombed, but since it was being built, it wasn't targeted in Battleship Row because it wasn't floating. So it was built right after Pearl Harbor. They finished it and it went out to sea. It was the first battleship that actually got out to sea to fight the Japanese in the Pacific. And the USS Iowa also was the ship that led the USS Missouri, where MacArthur signed the treaty with the Japanese Empire's representative. The Japanese emperor came there and they signed the treaty in Tokyo Bay Harbor. The Missouri, as someone who served on the Missouri in the 80s said to me this last weekend, we call it the Missouri, not the Missouri, but the Missouri. And he said he served on there when Reagan brought 3 or 4 of the battleships back and refitted them with cruise missiles and stuff in the 80s. He served there on the Missouri, and I got a great interview with him, got a chance to talk about the guns exploding and shooting and how that ship does in bad weather and all that. It was very cool, very cool. But anyhow, the Iowa escorted the Missouri into Tokyo Bay and then laid outside Tokyo Bay protecting the Missouri while the treaty was being signed by the Japanese emperor and MacArthur. And you've seen that in newsreels. Also, the Big I, the Iowa, fought in the Iraqi War, Persian Gulf War, the Iraqi War, and fought in Grenada. The little skirmish we had there was on offshore. The Iowa it's unbelievable. These 16-inch guns, my goodness, they are so huge. They shoot a bullet. They shoot a projectile that's as big as this desk. And it's like shooting a Mini Cooper 26 miles. That's how big it is. And they could propel that thing out the cannon 26 miles and hit their target with pinpoint accuracy. And it had 6 guns in the front, 3 guns in the back, and then a whole bunch of 5-inch cannon or 5-inch guns sprinkled around both sides of the ship, and I think something like 40 cruise missiles. It is so solid when you walk on that ship. It's like you're walking on cement. You really don't realize the power and the strength until you stand there. And when you stand there, you can imagine what that ship was like when those guns were shooting and in war and taking torpedoes and 3,000 men doing all the things they're supposed to be doing like clockwork so that ship functions properly. Wow. I even met a guy, 92 years old. He served on the USS Randolph, which was an aircraft carrier, because in Pearl Harbor in World War II, the carriers were not in harbor. They were outside. And only the battleships and the cruisers and the destroyers were in harbor, but they didn't get any of our carriers. And the Randolph was outside. And the Randolph, he served on the Randolph during World War II and all over the ship. He had many duties on the ship. It's pretty amazing, the stories that this 92-year-old man was old salty sea dog, let me tell you. And I posted up some pictures there on Jesse Terrero at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. So it was just a great event. We got a chance to really chat with a lot of servicemen, retired servicemen, and women, and got a chance to walk all over that ship. The beauty of having a media pass. Sometimes you get to go places where no man has gone before. Saying hi to John Pavlenko, who has us on, Richard Shimura, Del Bird, Del baby Bird. I love Del Bird. He and I go round and round and round on stuff all the time. He's quite the opposite politically than I am, but he's my pal. Love the guy. He's a smart guy and terrific accountant, and he's watching too. Thanks a lot, Del. I appreciate that. Absolutely. So it's good to have you along with us as we're live here every Monday through Friday, and we kind of jump into things. I hope you had a nice weekend, and it is a short week. I'm still thinking it's Monday. I was going to do my real estate show today, and I said, wait a minute. It's not Monday. It's Tuesday. And we had a special guest lined up for us today, but he got called out. He's directing a sitcom, a very popular sitcom this week. So he got we're rescheduling him out. Maximilian Searche, a terrific film director, and now he's doing TV directing. That's where the money's at, because that's good money. That's everyday money. So you can't say no to that. Absolutely. So, that means he'll have a few bucks when he comes in here. I can pinch $25 from him. That's, of course, always the trick here. I'm always trying to pinch 20. Hey, Lee, you got $25 for me?
I have no money.
Oh, darn it.
Zero money.
Yeah, I know what that's like,
My
man.
money dreams are even broke.
It's terrible when you have dreams at night, and in your dreams you ain't got no money.
I'm so broke I can't pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, attention needs some money. That's right. Yeah, well, I got a job for you. We can go out and hustle up with Guido if you want to. We can take care of some of Guido's business. Absolutely. Absolutely. So check us out on Facebook. Hey, Morgan Freeman just got accused of 8 women came forward and said that he did inappropriate actions to them on set and at his movie company. And that one, that one for me, I will tell you, it's hard to believe. I respect Morgan Freeman so much as one of the best actors ever, and it took him so long in his career to become Morgan Freeman. It wasn't until he was 50 to 55 years old did he get his first big break. He banged away at this business for a long time before anybody knew who he was or his talent. He was in his mid-50s, early 50s before he got that big break, and it's been nonstop, and he's 80 years old. I mean, I respect that guy. I there's just something about him. I've never met him. I've never interviewed him. I would always want to, but I just don't see him as these perverted deviants that are on the sets of these films and these TV shows. I just don't see that. It's really hard for me to believe that one. I don't want to believe it, and I'm not going to believe it until there's some evidence that really changes my mind. But the thing I like about what he's doing right now, and it's not that I'm supporting him or not supporting him, it's just hard for me to accept the reality that actually did happen. I mean, that sounds like witch hunty kind of fake news there with Morgan Freeman. That guy just doesn't seem to be the guy that would do that. Now, some of these cats like Wienerstein and Spacek, yeah, I can totally see that. In fact, they had reputations with everybody in the industry, and everybody at their level knew the shenanigans and the politicians that dealt with them. I mean, Obama gave Wienerstein a special medal, Medal of the Arts or something, the highest nation's medal that you can when you're in the arts. They knew what was going on, but Morgan Freeman, I have never in my 40 years plus in this business, the entertainment business, heard anything bad about Morgan Freeman. So that's kind of tough. I just hope it isn't true in that respect. The big story today, of course, Roseanne. I mean, really, Roseanne, come on, Roseanne Barr, are you kidding me? What are you like a psychopath or something, Roseanne? Seriously, she has a show that runs for 9 years. The first time out, saying hi to Monaco French restaurant. What say you on this, guys? She has a show that runs for 9 years. That, for a sitcom to run for 9 years, you know what the kind of money they're making? These actors and the producers and the directors and the kind of money that the set people and everybody that works, like 200 people that work on a set like that, to bring that show to fruition every week. It's an amazing thing to see and work in and watch. I've had the opportunity to be on guest starring roles on some of these nighttime soaps and these nighttime dramas and stuff way back when over the years. But the kind of money, it's unbelievable. I mean, Jerry Seinfeld was making $1 million an episode. The guys from Big Bang Theory, they're all making $1 million plus an episode. Now, the kind of money that she was making, the first 9-year run was unbelievable. So the show ended, and then she did all those crazy things like sing the national anthem and totally disrespected it, spit in the middle of the national anthem. Well, she became enemy number one for me when that happened, because you know my thoughts about respecting our flag and the national anthem and honoring those things that make this country and say what this country is and has been and will continue to be the only shining city on top of the hill, the beacon of light for the rest of the world. For so goes America, so goes planet Earth. If there was no America, can you imagine what the planet Earth would be like? Can you imagine living in a world without any United States of America? Seriously. Can you imagine Russia owning the world? Nazi Germany owning the world? Can you imagine Pinochet down in Chile or Cuba owning the world, or the Chinese or the Cambodians when they killed and murdered 3 or 4 million people after we pulled out? Can you imagine the evil people, the tyranny, the people that subjugate people and destroy and kill them and hurt them and torture them? Can you imagine the mullahs owning the world? Can you imagine the fanatical Islamic crazy psychopath killers owning the world? I mean, if there was no America, the world would be left in a situation that would be vastly different than what we live in today. So quit putting down the United States of America, will you already? Yeah, it's not perfect, but it gets better in a slow way. Hey, every day it gets better and better and better. Every single day. Anyhow, so Roseanne Barr, she gets herself, she tweets this thing and says that Obama's, Obama's assistant, is a cross between basically Planet of the Apes and the Black Lives Movement. She would be representative of a cross. That's what the tweet was, the original tweet. Is Roseanne Barr stupid? They used to say when I was growing up in Sun Valley and Pacoima, especially the Chicanas used to say, "Are you stupid? What's wrong with you? Are you stupid?" Yeah, What is she? Well, we know she has multiple personalities. She has, in fact, in interviews said that she's had 7 personalities. We know she says that she was abused by her parents at a young age. She was in a psychiatric ward for 9 straight months. She's been taking psychotropic drugs and these drugs that help people. And as you get older, your lunacy of your brain starts taking precedence over everything else the older that you get. So, I mean, she's crazy stupid. I mean, why would you do? There are just some things, and you can't hide it in comedy, guys. I'm sorry. You can't say, well, I'm a comedian. I have a right to. You don't have a right to say things like that. What's wrong with you? Really, you have to do shock value. She's like the shock jock comedian. That's why I was never a huge Howard Stern fan. I mean, I respect his talent, but the shock jock stuff when he first came out, basically pornography on the radio and pornography when he got his TV show with the radio. I mean, really? That's what you have to bow down to and cow down to? Porno stars eating big sticks and giving you massages? I just, I don't think that that's really a definition of talent. But that's just me. That's just me in that respect. But nevertheless, Roseanne Barr, she's crazy. She's a crazy witch. And so she goes and she does this. What a selfish person. Unbelievable selfishness. Unbelievable pitiful selfishness. Oh, she didn't care about her fellow actors and actresses. She didn't care about the other people that work on that set. And that the remake and the rehash of the show was pulling in great ratings. Great ratings. She just kissed all of their jobs goodbye. Oh, thanks, Rosanna. Thanks for killing my job. Because that's what she did. You have to be responsible. You have to be responsible when you're in a position like that. When you're the star, especially on TV, especially on a show that's on every single week and that's pulling great ratings, and you're the star of, you don't go saying stupid stuff like that. But, that is a person that doesn't like people. That's straight up. She doesn't like people. She doesn't like people like Jared. That's straight up. I mean, she said it. And so ABC, which is owned by Disney, fired her on the spot. Absolutely. I would fire her on the spot and then sue her for the actions of harm she's caused the network. And if I was on that set working, I would hire an attorney to sue her personally. That's what I would do. I would certainly look into it. I mean, really. Are you stupid? Well, she's crazy stupid. So she just kissed her career goodbye. Well, goodbye to her. I hope we don't see her again. And it's just a shame. It's just pitiful what people do to themselves. Why is it that all these big stars and all these big people that have the spotlight, why do they self-destruct so? Why do they have to, destroy themselves? What is it? Do they because they think they're holier than thou, and they're not. Well, she just got the message. Off with her head she goes. See you later. Good riddance to bad meat. Absolutely. So that's if you haven't heard about Roseanne, now you heard about it from me, Jesse T. And of course, this is the Jesse T Show. We're on every day, Monday through Friday from 5 to 6, and it's good to have you along with us. We are on Facebook on 3 different channels. We're on the Power of Voices Facebook. We are on Jesse Terrero's Facebook. We're on Straight on the Points Facebook, so you can check us out there, as well as on YouTube on the Jesse Terrero channel. You can check us out there. I'm posting up thousands of videos, thousands of interviews. I've got so much material and so many people that I've talked to and just a lot of great fun And there's a lot of cool stuff when you start looking at all this stuff I'm posting up. You'll see famous faces and maybe some things that'll bug the heck out of you, and maybe some things that'll make you laugh and cry. But that's the Jesse T Show on YouTube, at Jesse Terrero channel. So we're live there right now. Also, we're live on Instagram at Jesse Terrero, and then we go out to Periscope and live stream. We're kind of I'm eliminating live stream from the string because live stream has started to change their business model a little bit. So Periscope is we're going to start. Of course, we've been on there for a while, but we also are on Twitter. Yes, we are a tweet nation now. We live our lives on Twitter, and I quite frankly, haven't used Twitter enough ever since its incarnation. I'm going to start using Twitter more and more and more, but there are Twitterholics. I think they have too much to drink or smoke in the wee hours of the morning, and they end up doing stuff on Twitter that they later on regret. And that's what Roseanne did. I mean, I think that she's just part of the Twitter nation. Hey guys, when you're tweeting, you got to be careful what you put out there. It might reverse back and bite you in the rear end. You know, some of the things that you say on these Twitter feeds is pretty remarkable. One day I'm going to do a show, just read Twitter feeds about the different things. In fact, I think I'm going to do that next week. I'm going to spend an hour reading Twitter feeds about different topics of the day. I think I'll do that next Tuesday here on the Jesse T Show. Some of the things that people say is unbelievable on Twitter. And Twitter is like an extension of really who you are, because what you are in public is not necessarily what you are in the true reality of your life behind closed doors. And so Twitter kind of is an extension of that, who you are behind closed doors. And people get themselves in so much trouble. It's unbelievable in that respect. It just drives me crazy to read how people self-destruct on Twitter. So, but that leads to a good show. But we're on Twitter live. The show gets posted up right after the Jesse T Show ends at 6. We post it live to Twitter. We also go live to Tumblr. We go live to Blogger, and everything's under Jesse Terrero. We go live to Diggy and read it. Google Plus, we go live and over 1 million views on Google Plus. And about 100,000 Facebook shares and likes of the Jesse T Show. And then we also go out to Pinterest. We go out to Ustream and Upeak occasionally. We're out there, and we're going to be more consistent there. We're going out to Twitcher. I'm starting the Twitcher, not Twitter, but Twitcher. That's very popular. We used to go out to Snapchat, but Snapchat's kind of falling by the wayside. They got to do something about Snapchat. Occasionally, we still send stuff out there, though, on a regular basis. But fortunately, it's such a short little snippet that you only get a piece of the Jesse T Show. So these are some of the places. Overall, there's about 25 different places that the show gets immediately archived and sent out to after the live show here every day, Monday through Friday from 5 to 6. I want to read you something here, because I came across this, and I thought it was pretty interesting. This guy wrote this. Elisa Tucker actually wrote this, and let's see what Lisa has to say about immigration. She says, so let me get this straight. If you cross the North Korean border illegally, you get 12 years, hard labor. If you cross the Afghanistan border illegally, you get shot, no questions asked. 2 Americans just got 8 years for crossing the Iranian border. Okay? If you cross the U.S. border illegally, you get a job, a driver's license, food stamps, EBT, a place to live, health care, housing, child benefits, education, and you can start a tax-free business for 7 years. No wonder we are a country in debt. Do you agree with that? Be interesting to see what you think about that. It's pretty amazing, though, isn't it? How different we are here than the rest of the planet Earth, and how people don't realize how different we are. I think that all American teenagers, after they graduate from high school, they should be sent to at least one country in the world that is vastly different than America. one country that's different. And they could have a selection of maybe a couple of dozen different countries. Let's let them see, as young people, how the rest of the world really lives. And see if they come back with a different appreciation for just toilet paper and fresh fruit. Pretty amazing. You really come back with a different point of view when you travel abroad. Yeah, you do. Because you realize there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Okay? No matter what our problems are, there's no place on this planet Earth like home. No matter how insurmountable we think our problems are, so much of it is just created to create chaos, mayhem, and anarchy, to destroy the communication process between peoples of our great nation, to create hatred and dislike just because in that way they control who they are the corporations, the corrupt government. And have we seen how corrupt the government has been in these last 2 to 5 years? Pretty much everybody's corrupt in one way or a form or another. Everybody's looking out for me, myself, and I don't see the word or the letter you in there at all. So no matter where you are on the planet Earth, when you come home, you realize how great this country is. That's one of the things about the military. And I'm starting to believe now that in the military, we should have the draft redone. I know so many are going to argue that, but what the draft teaches you, one, it teaches you discipline. It teaches you that you have a job to do, dedication. It teaches you camaraderie-ship, team play. It teaches you how to take orders, how to give orders, how to finish the job right so people don't die. It also teaches you how to live within a structure of command. It also teaches you, and if you have the opportunity, to go to other nations and see how they live and see how they run their everyday lives. And so many military men and women come back after they served, maybe not necessarily the ones that have served in battlefront situations, because unfortunately there's a lot of PTSD there. But everybody who serves in the military comes back and understands they don't want to be anywhere else but the United States of America. Because I don't know about you, I've been in 43 nations in my lifetime. And I've been to the ones in Europe, and I've been to ones in Asia, and I've been to ones in Africa, and I've been to ones in Central America, and South America, and I've been to ones in India and in Australia. I've been in 43 different nations. And I'll tell you what, there's no place like home. No place. Congratulations to Lou Ferrigno. Big Lou, baby. That's right. And one of the greatest football players of all time, Herschel Walker. Guys, if you never know who Herschel Walker is, unbelievable player. You know, he played for Donald Trump. Donald Trump owned a USFL team in New York, and Herschel Walker was their running back. And he set all the records there. He was a great running back, strong and powerful and fast, and just an all-around great guy from everybody that speaks about and everything I've read. And he is so fit today. Herschel Walker, watch some of his videos, how he ran. Unbelievable football player and unbelievable, terrific guy. He is a Trump supporter, and he has a personal relationship with Trump's way back to his football days when he started for the team that Trump owned. And so he has that up close and personal experience with Donald Trump, President Trump. But Herschel Walker and Big Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk. Lou Ferrigno was the last guy. He used to train Michael Jackson privately. A lot of people don't know this. For years, For years, decades, he was Michael Jackson's personal trainer. And he trained Michael Jackson. They were in a training session just a few days before Michael Jackson died. We're hoping to get Big Lou in the Jesse T show. We've been talking to him and his publicist, Edward Losey, one of the best publicists in Los Angeles, if not the best, arguably, in here to talk about Big Lou, baby, Lou Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno, nice guy, super, super nice man, and Herschel Walker are now the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition. So congratulations to them. They've got the official appointment at the White House, and they are the guys now. And it couldn't be two better guys to represent America with fitness, sports, and nutrition. Herschel Walker and the great one, Big Lou Ferrigno. And saying hi to our buddy Robert Goldman, Dr. Bob. He's a world record holder. He holds like 21 strength records in the Guinness Book of World Records. Terrific guy, philanthropist as well. He works real closely with these people. If you had the opportunity to go to my Facebook site over Memorial Weekend, you saw I posted up a lot of stuff about the military, and I did that because I just love those songs. And so I posted up those songs so that you could kind of get a taste of the military branch's different songs. One of the things that I thought was really special in the songs was the playing of taps. And taps came around the Civil War, where both the Southerners and the Northerners, the South and the Union, both found that to be their song to honor the ones that have fallen and died in the battlefront. So taps is if you've ever had the opportunity, go to Arlington National Cemetery. It is really someplace, and go visit the tomb of the unknown soldier and watch them the changing of the guard, the sentinels. And it is really, really a special moment in your life. You'll never, ever, ever forget it at the tomb of the unknown soldiers. So I invite you to go there to Arlington National Cemetery, which at one time was Robert E. Lee's, his wife's mansion, her family mansion. Arlington was Robert E. Lee. Hey, he married well. You know, you find out when you start going back in history, you find out that lots of men married well. They married the right lady who had something going on. Well, Robert E. Lee's wife, she was the one that where Arlington National Cemetery is. That was her house. That came from her family. And Robert E. Lee married right in that respect. But go check it out. It absolutely it's a beautiful thing to see. Arlington National Cemetery. Did you hear about that guy? Did you hear about that guy in Anaheim who was getting some fast food late one night, and the fast food place was being robbed by a man with a gun pointing at the people behind the cash register, demanding to have their money, and then the guy that was sitting in the car at the drive-up pulled out his pistol and shot through the window and shot the robber who had a gun and had the workers there at gunpoint, shot him and hit him twice and dropped him, and then he drove away. Did you hear about that guy? Well, the interesting thing about this is now the police are looking for him to arrest him. He saved employees' lives from potentially being shot by a guy who got $276 from the employees, but may have shot them because there were cameras all over the place, and his mug is all over. The robber's mug was all over the cameras. So this guy pulls out his pistol, shoots through the drive-up window, and hits the robber, and now the police are after him. You see, that's the problem with California, guys. See, that's what's wrong with California. California has the wackiest, most ridiculous gun laws to protect yourself and your family. Do you know that if somebody comes into your home and in the dead of night and you shoot them, you better make sure they're in your door, across the threshold in your house. And you better make sure that they have a pistol. Because if they don't, and they're outside, you're going to get arrested for manslaughter. Now, whether or not it turns out to be that, whether or not it gets washed out and you're let go or you do time, the fact is you'll be arrested. Someone that comes into your house in the dead of night and you wake up to the noise and you say, stop, and they turn on you and you shoot them, you better make sure they're in your house and you better make sure that they got a gun. Otherwise, you're going to be arrested. And that's what they're doing. They're looking for this guy, this hero. This guy should be a hero, man. In other states, he would be railed as a hero, honored as a hero. He saved people's lives. Saved people's lives. But here in California, you can't do that. So I've decided that I'm never going to help anybody on the street do anything. Because if you're driving down the street in California and you see some guy beating the heck out of a woman or beating the heck out of a child or beating the heck out of a dog, and you go over there and you knock him out somehow, some way, you're going to get assaulted. You're going to get arrested. The chances you getting arrested are very high for assault and battery. Yeah, we're twisted in this state. The election is coming up June 5th. Get out there and vote and get these crazy lunatic Dems out of the governor's house. Do not vote for that guy that wants to be governor, and he's worse than Jerry Brown. Put somebody else in there. We're going to have David Hernandez running for lieutenant governor coming in here tomorrow. We're going to talk politics, and we're going to have Travis Allen on the phone on Thursday. We're going to Skype him in here. We're going to talk some politics. And before June 5th, we're going to try to grab a couple other politicians here before next week is up so we can get their point of view at the last minute here and see what they have to say and how they would change the state of California and turn back some of these crazy laws like this. All right, because we got to do something here, because if this state continues to go the way it's going, my goodness gracious, you're going to see this state break up into 3 states. There's a big push in California right now to break up into 3 different states. There's a big push right now for that. And I'll tell you what, if that happens, I'm moving north. I'm going to the north one because they're going to be the most independent thinking one. That's right. And I don't necessarily like the Republicans either. I think the Republicans have destroyed so much in Washington, D.C. in the last 2 years. They own the House, they own the Senate, and they have the presidency, but they haven't got nearly as much as accomplished as they could have in that respect, because the rhinos that act like Democrats in the Republican family are just putting their feet in the ground and their heads in the ground like ostriches. And so we got to get them out too. So I'm not a happy Republican and I'm not a happy Democrat. So I've changed myself again. I'm independent because I don't like any of them. But I do like President Trump. But I don't like any the congressmen and the Senate. They're the ones that really actually run the country. They budget the country. They create the legislation. They create the laws, the rules, and the regulations. The senators and the Congress is really where the power of the people, the power of the country lies. And so many of them are just so plain corrupt. So we got to understand. We got to get rid of this corruption going on. Got to get rid of these term limits the way they set. We got to do something to change the way things are going. Because if we continue like this and the quagmire continues on, and the one thing about Trump, he'll executive order everything. and in that respect. And presidents shouldn't have to do that. Obama did it, Reagan did it, Bush did it, Clinton did it. This executive order stuff, it should go through Congress and the Senate, but they can't seem to get anything straight. And I think Americans are getting tired of that. That's what I think. Hey, the Jesse T Show. David Hernandez is going to be in tomorrow running for lieutenant governor as we catch the vibe here in Los Angeles on the Jesse T Show right here. Every day of the week, Monday through Friday, from 5 to 6. Thanks a lot for having us on, everybody. Donna Gibbs, Antonio Gonzalez, Clark Tang, Tiffany Chair, thank you very much. Hey, check us out on the archive on Facebook and thepowerofvoices.com. The World According to Torero, you're straight on the spot, man. You are on the point right now. The Brown Beauty's off duty. See ya! Boom!